are four main trends that we see with state legislatures around the pharmacy benefit. And, those are transparency, PBM income related issues, cost sharing, and then, of course, state costs. With transparency, we are seeing a lot of introduced legislation for PBM and pharmaceutical manufacturer reporting requirements. So in some cases, this is tied with a licensure requirement that a PBM operating in a state receive a license from a state authority, often a commerce-related board or a health-related board. Sometimes they establish entirely new boards that only work on regulating PBMs and drug pricing. But there's a lot of, this is broadly sort of transparency, but I think more so transparency to the government rather than transparency to individuals or consumers or patients. On the PBM income side, we're seeing a lot of attention on spread pricing and rebate pass-throughs. And, there are a lot of proposals at the federal and state level that would prohibit the use of spread pricing arrangements in PBM contracts with health plans. And then there are a lot of proposals as well to require 100% pass-through of any rebates that the PBM negotiates. Sometimes that's 100% pass-through back to the plan sponsor. Sometimes it's a point of sale pass-through to the individual patient, which there's a little bit of different structure between those two. On cost sharing, most of the attention is focused on copays, not surprising. So a lot of proposals to limit copay caps, frequently on insulin, but we're seeing some other products start to pop up as popular targets as well. And then prohibitions on the way certain copay assistance programs can be factored into a patient's cost sharing. So typically these proposals would require health payers, including plans and PBMs, to count any copay assistance from a pharmaceutical manufacturer or other third party towards the patient's overall cost sharing requirement. So whatever their out-of-pocket maximum is, whatever their deductible is, this would factor that assistance into that amount. And then, of course, on the mind of every state legislature is the budget, state costs. And so we're seeing a lot of attention on prescription drug affordability boards, sometimes called PDABs. Those take there's a pretty wide range of possible arrangements for those boards. There's a lot of movement in that area, and 4 states notably have included or have authorized their PDABs to set upper payment limits, which Colorado is the first state to have found a drug to be unaffordable and therefore subject to an upper payment limit. They haven't released what that limit will be yet, but it is the subject of some litigation. So potentially how that litigation plays out could drastically reshape PDABs throughout the country, especially those that have been authorized to create upper payment limits. And then we're also seeing a lot of attention on GLP-1 inhibitor coverage. So your Ozempics, those types of products, that's growing in popularity. They're fairly pricey drugs, and so that's been a bit of a challenge for state budgets. But a lot of the states are thinking more seriously about these than they were a year ago, and definitely several years ago when it wasn't really a major issue. And then last thing is that importation continues to move along. The FDA authorized or approved the first state importation plan in January. That was Florida. A couple of other states have passed legislation to create an importation plan, but Florida's is the first to actually get approval from the federal government. And so there's I think a lot of folks, including AMCP, watching to see how that plays out.